Hello everybody, this is Mr. US History, and welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, we're going to be going back onto the campaign trail, and we're going to be playing as George Wallace in the 1972 election. Yes, that's right, the 1972 election. Most people know Wallace for his candidacy in the 1964 and 1968 elections, but this is the 1972 election, where George Wallace ran in the Democratic primaries and actually did quite well, winning even in Michigan. But then he got injured in an assassination attempt, and then his whole campaign naturally fell apart. And then George McGovern got the nomination. However, in this case, George Wallace does win the Democratic Party's nomination, and he doesn't drop out after his assassination attempt or anything like that. And we're gonna see if we can beat Richard Nixon. This is probably the hardest one to play as George Wallace, but let's just see how it works. So yeah, George Wallace. In this case, he does not support segregation. In fact, he's campaigning as a racial moderate. And yep, he was attacked by Arthur Bremer, and then he was put in a wheelchair. However, he has to also appeal to young voters, African Americans, and liberals. So let's see what happens. Who should I pick as my running mate? So I have Scoop Jackson, who he is a hawk, but at the same time he does support civil rights and unions. Let's see what else. Clay Smothers. Okay, this is a African American from Texas. He was just another man on the street, but then he worked for a Dallas radio station, and then which would have selected him as a Wallace delegate from Texas. Yep, his selection would indicate a right-wing populist turn to Wallace's candidacy. Still, Smothers would be an ultimate outsider running mate. The experience question would surely plague any appearance he makes, and he has notably reactionary views on social issues. His selection may also make the Wallace campaign out to a joke rather than a serious affair. However, Smothers is nothing if not dedicated, and Wallace selecting the first black running mate as his vice president would undoubtedly dampen any attacks about racism or his record. Yeah, but the thing is, this is 1972 America. I don't even think that selecting an African American running mate at this time would necessarily be that good, especially campaign-wise. Like, I don't know, though. Like, I'm debating whether to do this or not, because, yes, he is from Texas, but at the same time, he could hurt me in the South, and I don't even think he's going to help that much in the North. And plus, could make the Wallace campaign out to be a joke rather than a serious affair. Let's see Sam Yorty. He's garnered a reputation as a maverick within the Democratic Party. It'd be an unexpected choice, populist rhetoric, and Los Angeles has grown economically. His selection would herald a right-wing populist tone to the Wallace campaign. Unfortunately, Yorty comes with a lot of baggage that Wallace might not want to handle, an outspoken opponent of busing and feminism, as well having a re-election campaign widely accused of race baiting and presiding over the infamous Watts riot. Yorty would do Wallace no good with leftists or African Americans. Similarly, his bizarre presidential campaign failed to gain traction, and he has never been able to win a statewide race. Well, this guy would have been a good running mate in 1968, but this is 1972, and I'm trying to prove that I'm not racist anymore, so I'll do Henry M. Jackson. I'll do Scoop Jackson. Alright. June 8th, 1972. It's been weeks since your near death at the hands of Arthur Bremer, and you're still confined to a hospital. So, and now comes at your door. It's your secretary, Shirley Chisholm. Your political opposite and rival candidate has come to visit you. What do you say? Yeah, just send her in. Okay. Alright, let's see what my polling's at. Okay, so I'm winning the Deep South, and I'm not doing that bad, actually. I have 106 electoral votes. I'm actually winning in Wisconsin. I could gain the lead in West Virginia. Same with Tennessee and North Carolina, so let's see what happens. After a convention that threatened to spiral into disaster, you have astonishingly emerged victorious from the chaos of Miami. The throngs of angry liberals of all stripes protesting your unexpected success, your supporters all too happy to rub it in. What will you say at the convention speech? Cool tensions. Nah, I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. A moderate tone from George Wallace. Though the convention floor is calm, this sort of conciliatory, unenergetic tone is not what your supporters were looking for. This is alright, I'd say. It may not excite my supporters, but at least it calms down the convention. Alright, let's campaign in Tennessee. After a contentious presidential nomination, you've made it clear that you intend to have Scoop Jackson as your running mate. Could you explain the reasoning behind your choice? Let's see. Yeah, let's go with this one. Scoop's policies are a mixed bag in the Democratic Party. His pro-union and staunch civil rights support are appealing to liberals, but they cancel out with his continued support of the Vietnam War and general hawkishness. Probably not best to emphasize this. Yeah, well, yeah, that did kind of hurt me a lot. Alright, I can still come back. Eugene McCarthy, who infamously destroyed Lyndon Johnson's campaign back in 1968, on his way to a surprisingly successful candidacy, has announced he will run for president as a third-party candidate. Alright. Let's see. Let's go with that. The new Wallace certainly is a new man, it seems. Appeasing the left of the party will take the wind out of McCarthy's sails. It may be the way to mitigate his campaign entirely. Just be careful not to push away too much of your southern base in exchange. Okay, I have Wisconsin now. Let's see. Okay, I'm at 63. I'm really down in Texas now, but at the same time, I could gain votes in the Midwest. Let's go to Ohio. A major decision in your campaign will be how you'd like to tie yourself to the Democratic establishment, which has been cool to your candidacy throughout your many campaigns. Would you be willing to meet with Lyndon Johnson and pivot on certain issues? Let's see. Let's do this. Though Johnson is initially skeptical, your changed stance on civil rights and the Great Society convinces him to give you his endorsement, though he can't campaign due to his ill health. Well, that actually, it did help me in Texas because Johnson is popular there, and I'm gaining more traction in the Midwest. Alright. As preliminary polling continues, the situation is ominously clear. Nixon is leading by gigantic margins, and it seems more than likely you will not be president by 1973. If not win outright, what are your goals this election season? Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. Winning outright will take every ounce of political acumen you have and a few miracles besides. In fact, this only makes Democrats believe that you'll tear the party apart in pursuit of your dream and may have resigned themselves to another defeat. Good luck. Well, it is helping me, actually, because I'm just 1 point away from taking Ohio and Indiana. And I'm almost there in West Virginia and Michigan. Texas, I'm also 1 point away from. Let's visit Texas. American involvement in Vietnam has dragged out to its 8th year of major commitment, and most Americans agree that the nation needs to get out. The true disagreement is on how to do it. Let's see. Yeah, let's just... This is a toned-down version of what McGovern and the rest of the Democrats left was calling for by chopping out the more extreme demands. This appeals to the mainstream Americans without alienating moderates, making it overwhelmingly popular. Good move. Alright. That didn't help me anywhere in Texas, though, because Texas is hawkish. So, okay, let's try this. Okay, busing. This is about busing. Alright, let's see what these states think about busing. They're all against busing, but let's see. Busing, conservative, against. I'm not going to gain any support from these places that actually support busing. And even, like, Pennsylvania opposes busing, so I don't think I'm going to lose anything by going against busing. Is this what your base wants to hear? Yes. Is this popular with Nixon supporters? Yes. Does this infuriate liberals in your party and only divide the Democrats further? Yes. Yes, but I've now taken Indiana. I'm at 101. I've also taken Ohio and Michigan. I'm almost there. Same with West Virginia and Texas. Let's visit Texas. Or actually, yeah, let's visit Texas. Your running mate, Scoot Jackson, has done little to help your cause, barely ever showing up to campaign events. Personally, Jackson's uncomfortable with being so associated with your campaign. Let's see. You're very, very, very lucky if you're elected. Scoop appreciates it, but his behavior doesn't change much with empty promises. Okay, let's see. I'm at 127. How did I get there? Okay, let's go to Florida next. President Nixon's war on drugs has entered its second year, and drug abuse is still seen by many as an issue plaguing America. What do you propose to get this under control? Let's see. Strike at the heart of the decision. This is the hard stance people want to hear, while also being different in approach from Nixon's plans. Alright, I'm up in Texas now. I'm at 148. This is great. I'm also up in Ohio. Let's visit Michigan. The American involvement in the Vietnam War dying down. Questions have surfaced regarding the military's large budget, which some critics now consider bloated. Would Were you to become president, would you cut the military's budget? Uh, let's see. Look what they all think about military. These guys are dovish, but Texas is hawkish. This is interesting. Let's just keep it the way it is. Though this is generally against what liberals want, Scoop Jackson appreciates your stance. Alright. And now I'm up in Michigan. But how did I lose support? That's my question now. Okay, let's go to Florida next. But anyway, many liberal Democrats like George McGovern and Ted Kennedy have proposed national single-payer health insurance program to cover all Americans. This would be paid for with payroll taxes and general federal revenue. Would you support this program? Um, let's go with this one. You found a way to slide states' rights into this campaign, have you? Clever. Southern Democrats are pleased with this answer, and Northern Democrats begrudgingly accept it, though the most progressive accuse you of dog whistling. Well, I'm not going to get their votes anyway, so doesn't matter. I'm at 148 again. Alright. Let's go to Florida. Ever since the first Eisenhower campaign, television advertising has become an integral part of any presidential candidate worth their salt. What angle do you wish to take with yours? Alright. These ads are very successful in industrial regions, particularly the Midwest. In places with less laborers and farmers, however, they have little effect. How did I lose support? Thought that would help me a lot in the Midwest. Turns out it didn't. Alright. Despite large labor support in 1968 and strong labor support in the primaries, polling has indicated that American labor currently favors Richard Nixon for president. What will you say to real and union members? Union leadership hates you, but your selection of Scoop Jackson is enough to convince them that a Wallace presidency wouldn't be outright disastrous for them. The AFL-CIO and UAW give you a very tepid endorsement. But an endorsement is an endorsement, and it did help me in the Midwest. Alright, but I'm still not winning there. I'm only winning in Indiana. Let's look at the popular vote. Okay, let's go to Ohio. Though Nixon promised to decrease the number of Americans on government welfare, the number of Americans on the system only increased during his tenure in office. How would you change this? Let's do this. But, you know, I need to be more clear. Let's just go there. One of your left-wing swing seems to be in the welfare system. Fiscal conservatives don't like this change much, but we liberals agree with your stance. But here's the problem. I'm not going to get votes from hardcore liberals or fiscal conservatives. They're going to vote for Nixon or Eugene McCarthy. But I can get those moderate liberals. So I'm at 122 right now. Let's go to... Okay, I'm actually up in Michigan. Let's go to Texas next. This is the first election which 18-year-olds will be allowed to vote for president. The polling says they aren't for Nixon. They don't seem very enthusiastic about your campaign either. How important is winning the youth vote to you? Let's do this. Gravel agrees to campaign for you, albeit reluctantly. Together, he and other surrogates are able to bring young voters back to your side, saving you from an embarrassed underperformance with a critical voting bloc. Alright. At 88, let's go to Texas. There's no way around it. Your health issues and disability have hampered your campaign and has driven otherwise receptive voters to Nixon out of fears regarding your capabilities. What would you like to do to combat this perception? I kind of wish the scenario was Wallace never gets shot, but it is what it is. Let's see. I don't think either of these three are going to work, honestly. I'll just do this. Though your complaint draws snickers, your normal campaign's well-paced schedule makes sure that you don't suffer a medical malady while out there. The fears are left to fester, however. Could have been worse. Maybe I was a bit too cautious with that. Let's go there. The Nixon campaign has been pounding on you for your long history of segregation of statements. It's definitely having an effect on your numbers. What will you say to get out from under the weight of your own words if you want to get out from under them at all? Let's see. For once, you put on a calm demeanor when addressing the public. Speech is watched by millions nationwide, and it's generally well received, further boosting your reputation as a moderate on race. Alright. Still at 63 because I'm barely down in these states. Let's go to Texas. Richard Nixon is a famously poor debater on television, and his 1960 debate against JFK was widely seen as a turning point in Kennedy's favor. However, no debate between any candidates has been held in 12 years, and Nixon has shown no interest in trying again. Will he try and hold Nixon into another debate? Now let's do this. This gains traction in the news site, and tears of light when Nixon declines are all lined up to attack him for being afraid of confrontation. This has worked out as he hoped. Alright, I'm up in Ohio. No, I'm not up in Ohio, but I am up in Indiana. Only at 88. I'm actually close in Alaska. I'm wondering why I'm not getting any support at all in the Upper South, but anyway. New York and New England are important regions for any Democrats to win, but your chances in these regions have been badly hindered by your past reputation. What will you do to bring these places back into the fold? I'm not going to win those places. Just go up there. Your focused campaigning in the air does bring... Let's see. I'm actually now gained support in the north, as well as Texas. I'm at 148 now. That's actually pretty good. And I'm closer in Connecticut and Massachusetts, in fact. So let's go to Florida. Stu Jackson has used his connections to get you a meeting with a number of party heavyweights and major donors who have shown reluctance to you back this year. What do you want to tell them in order to win their support? Okay. How did I lose support? 5 men in the pay of the Committee for the Re-election of the President, CREEP, were caught red-handed bugging the Democratic National Committee headquarters at Watergate's complex with rumors of Nixon himself being involved. He was involved. Do you have anything? Do you have any comment? I don't have any proof that Nixon himself was involved, even though he was. Still have to just do this. The press initially covers the break-in, but America doesn't seem to care, and the scandal quietly recedes from public view. Okay. Let's go to Texas. The black vote has been reliably Democrat since FDR's 1932 campaign, but you seem on the verge of breaking that streak. Polling shows that these voters are threatening to split to the Republicans in numbers not seen in 40 years. What is your plan, if any, to hold on to these votes? Just so you know, if you're watching this video, George Wallace, when he ran for governor again, I think in 1982, he actually got 90% of the black vote, which is honestly astounding considering his past history. And in fact, if he hadn't gotten 90% of the black vote, he may not have even won by that much, honestly. So let's see. Let's do this. It's a brave move to show your face in these places, and you've certainly catched heat for your troubles. However, your dogged determination to prove your new alignment earns begrudging respect, and your numbers begin to improve at some cost to conservatives, of course. Well, that was expected. Alright, my numbers have increased. I think this is mainly because of black support in the Midwest, and I don't know how my numbers in Texas improved, but let's go to West Virginia next. Following the Watergate scandal, Vice President Agnew has come out and told the press that he has a wild fancy the whole thing is a plot to embarrass Republicans. With Agnew now addressing the scandal, do you have anything more to say about the issue? It actually happened. It was done by Nixon. So, yeah. You know what? Just stay on target. The Watergate scandal continues to ominously bubble below the surface, but its effects on the election cycle see no change. Okay, let's go to West Virginia. Bad news, the IRS has announced an investigation into your brother Gerald's finances on accusations of taking kickbacks from highway and liquor interests. Announcement is doing damage to the campaign regardless of the outcome. Do you have any plan for damage control? I don't know if I want to do that. I don't want to backstab my brother either, though, so this is a hard one. Yeah, let's just do that. Things only get worse when the IRS names it as a potential target for another investigation. Okay. Yep, that hurt me. Of course Nixon played dirty. What did I expect? What do you think of Richard Nixon's travels to Moscow and China? Actually, let's say that was a good thing. Nixon's actions abroad are widely... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I've lost support in the South, but I've gained support in the Midwest. Let's go to Texas and see if I can get it back. Richard Nixon himself has pleaded with Congress to pass the bill after several close calls, but anti-welfare activists have balked at the cost and potential disincentive to work. This is a liberal pivot for you. Conservatives are particularly pleased with it. However, those Democrats who have taken this position are pleasantly pleased by this change. Okay, I'm now up in Texas. I am at 109. Maybe my goal should be to get triple digits when it comes to the electoral vote count. With only a few days left until the election, the Vietnam War is still raging on. However, that may not be a truth for very long, as Henry Kissinger has just announced that thanks to breakthroughs in negotiation, peace is at hand. Let's see. Alright. Let's go to Michigan. 6 days before the election day, you are scheduled to make a campaign speech at Cleveland, which will be highly televised. What would you like to emphasize? Let's do this. Conservative populist land is a big hit as always, and your numbers rise in areas where this type of vote is prominent. How did I lose Texas? Alright, let's go to Texas then next. Okay, I have to go to a specific region. Let's go to the Midwest. Yeah. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Not expecting a win here, but I'm at least hoping I get to triple digits. Hey, would you look at that? I'm winning. Hey, Kentucky, Nixon won by 9 points. Vermont, I wasn't going to win any day, so... Well, the entire South just came in for me. I'm surprised that I didn't win Virginia either. I don't know why Virginia, Kentucky, and North Carolina were out of reach this campaign. Same with Maryland, actually, also. They all should have been in reach. Yeah, I lost the election. What a shocker. Okay, I won Arkansas. So I'm guaranteed to have 54 electoral votes. Never mind, 67. So I won Indiana, and I won Wisconsin, so that's 78. Let's see what else. California, he won by like 20 points. I never campaigned there. He won Texas. Okay, Michigan and Ohio. Well, Michigan went to Nixon. And Ohio seems to be going down to the wire. Alaska went to Nixon. 93 in, and Ohio still, I don't have any results. Okay, I won Ohio by 0.2%. As expected, you've lost the 1972 election. Nobody can say they didn't see this coming, of course. Maybe it was, despite your greatest efforts, let's see, maybe it was a shooting that did it, or your record, or a few bad breaks, but whatever happened, Nixon will get his next term with a renewed mandate. Your presidential ambitions are almost certainly finished. If I wasn't shot, I think I actually could have maybe won Tennessee, North Carolina, Kentucky, probably West Virginia, definitely Michigan and Texas. So if I wasn't shot, I definitely could have done a whole lot better. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and bye.